Free conference tournament winners. That's what you're looking for. We've got them coming up, plus a very, very contrarian best bet in the NBA. Oftentimes on this program, for those of you who watch regularly, it is Mark Zinno in a huff full of P and V. Today it's going to be me because my 9-game college basketball win streak came to an end last
P
night.
and
Very
V?
frustrating fashion.
Oh,
Piss
back
and
up, back up,
vinegar.
back up. Okay. Usually when you say P, it's short for, and then V is short for when P and V
Oh,
get together. That's no, you
piss
did
and
that.
vinegar.
Okay,
Piss
then
and
just say
vinegar.
piss and
That's what it is.
vinegar. Then just say
I wanted
piss
to-
and vinegar.
Do I need to send you a script before the show? Is that
Well,
what you
I
would
mean,
like?
if you're going to say things that are nonsensical or misleading to the audience, if you denote, there we go. If you abbreviate those two initials, they are generally regarded as P is for the male genitalia, V is for the female genitalia, and you wanted to abbreviate piss and vinegar instead of just saying piss and vinegar.
Two things. One, get your mind out of the gutter. Two, I love when your communication teaching deteriorates and you speak in that New York Italian accent. It always makes me laugh.
I mean, just say piss and vinegar.
Piss and vinegar. Okay. Are you happy
Thank
now?
you.
I like talking in a unique fashion.
Okay, but
Okay.
like
I like
now
doing
I'm
that.
full of piss and vinegar because you couldn't
always
just
are.
say piss and vinegar.
Okay, and I'm the one who wanted to rant about Tom Izzo
Go
and
ahead, go
Fran
ahead.
McCaffrey last
Yes,
night
go ahead, do
and
something.
how I
Get there.
played wrong team first half and the wrong team full game last night. Okay. I had Western Kentucky first half. They gave up a 3 right before the half, so they did not cover the first half number. Of course, they go on to cover the full game. Then I had Iowa, who I should have played first half. They were up by 7 at halftime. I'm getting 6.5, and guess what? They lost by 7 full game. Fran McCaffrey, you pulling your players and putting the scrubs on the floor so they could foul to lose the cover was disgraceful, and I hope you're out of a job, quite frankly, at the end of the year. I did have a good old fashioned once in Iowa City, though. I will point that out.
Well,
That was my
again,
one
what
positive.
happened to you in the second half of that game was incorrigible on several accounts. I mean, 61 point second half. There's no way anybody can account for that in a handicap. That's just, there might be one or two other games the entire year where a team scored 60 points and a half and you were on the wrong side of it. And for reference, Michigan State scored 55 points in the entire game against Maryland. And then they scored 61 in the second half against Iowa. It's just that's impossible. I would be full of, as you said, P and V too, as well.
That's the bad. Yes, that's
the good is I went 3-0.
Yes, I was going to say you went 3-0. And hey, what did I say many times on this show? We are the brokers of honesty. I said, guys, I've gotten some lucky breaks during this 29-11 run. That there was the Cincinnati against West Virginia, the Utah UCF finish. So we were due to have one go against us. Nevertheless, you heard Mark. Congrats. You won 3 close ones last night. That had to be very stressful.
I
For
got
about
lucky.
15 minutes.
Bucknell was luck. Bucknell was luck. I mean, it clearly, without going to overtime, it doesn't go over the team total. And I was very irritated at the Bucknell Bison, even though I was playing against. It was really hard because I was rooting against my alma mater. I wanted Loyola to win it in overtime, but I also needed Bucknell to get to 73. So, but overtime is where dogs go to die, and unfortunately, the Greyhounds their season ended. Nonetheless, I still feel like the handicap behind American was only that they were home. Like it wasn't the game script I thought was going to unfold with them scoring 45 in the second half of that game and come roaring back after trailing by 11 at halftime. Like that wasn't what I thought was. But the game script was more about the Patriot League and the home teams winning over 71% of the time. So, and look, Cleveland State should have won. The Vikings set sail, as Brian Power would like to say. They should have blown that team out of the water. Northern Kentucky was so lucky with the amount of chuck up threes that they made. It was the only reason they were even in the game. It was more of a sweat than I wanted it to be. But from a handicap perspective, I think I read Cleveland State correctly. They should have beat that team by a lot more. But nonetheless, I'll take all 3 wins and not apologize for them.
You shouldn't apologize. And what the big picture here? You and I are number 1 and number 2, both overall and in college hoops the last 30 days at WagerTalk. Mark and I do have that great special offer going on right now, $198. You can get all of our plays from now in college hoops, from now through the national championship game, one great price.
And I will explain to you why it's better to buy the package, because you and I in our double play today are doing afternoon games. So if you're somebody who doesn't get to this show until later on, you won't have access to it. And my afternoon play is also a client play. It's already out there in the
Look,
ethos, and it's
ethos.
if you have subscribed, if you're a client, and bought the package as soon as I fire it off, it goes right to your email. So you don't even have. There's no other package for you to buy. So make sure you guys get the morning wager twofer, the 2-for-1er.
Would you like to get into that play right now, which is in the Coastal Athletic Association? It is a first half selection. A vintage. You love playing first halves, so hey, an afternoon game, first half could be the first one of the day. Everybody, right here, we are taking a look at Delaware playing Stony Brook in the CAA.
Definitely partial to the top half over the bottom half, but that's just personal preference. Anyway, let's look at Delaware and Stony Brook in the CAA. 2:00 Eastern start time. You like that, BP? 2:00 Eastern start time. Couple things here. Number one, we're looking at a Delaware offense that plays one of the fastest paces in the country. I think that 34th in adjusted tempo in Ken Palm versus Stony Brook defense. That's 348th in adjusted defensive efficiency in Ken Palm. Seawolves also second to last in the CAA this year in effective field goal percentage defense and 3-point shooting defense. I think that's where Delaware really takes advantage. Now, the Blue Hens defense isn't any good either. Let's just be honest about that. But the Stony Brook offense is 12th out of 14 teams in the CAA in adjusted offensive efficiency. Seawolves are also missing their best player in Joe Octave. Octave? Anyway, he's been out, I think, the last 7 or 8 games. He scored 23 in the first matchup against Delaware. And that was a game where Delaware won by 10. So without him in the lineup, they've been a much different team. I know they sort of won the last 2 games. They not sort of. They did win the last 2 games. Stony Brook did in CAA regular season play. Kind of an anomaly again. Hofstra's not a very good team, and Elon had nothing to play for at that point in time. So I think that there are 2 things at play here. One, I think the early start actually favors Delaware for the team that gets out and runs. It's what they're used to. It's how they play. They're not going to need any extra time to get their legs underneath them like Stony Brook would, given the fact that it's an earlier body clock, earlier start time for them. And number 2, Delaware is one of the highest scoring first half teams in the nation. They average 38 points in the first half this year versus Stony Brook, who away from home only averages 29 points in the first half. So we put all that together. We'll lay a short number here at 2.5 with Delaware in the first half in the first round of the CAA tournament.
Thanks, Mark. I'm glad you clarified that they did, in fact, win and not sort of won. You can't sort of win in sports. But so I'm glad you clarified that. And number 2, you want to criticize my choice of words. I would like to fire back at you. It's into the ether, not into the ethos, by the way. Just
No, ethos.
there. No, it's ether.
No, ethos.
Ether.
Ethos.
This ether. That was a good song. That song hit hard. That song hit real hard. Jay-Z couldn't recover from that one. I guess he's still doing well.
Saying
Jay-Z still.
into the
Ether.
ethos meaning. The meaning of ethos, distinguishing character, sentiment, moral nature, or guiding beliefs.
Sudden, you're coming up empty here. You're coming up. You're into the ether right now. I think it's into the ether. Anyway, Delaware first half minus 2.5. That's Mark Zinno. Smash that like button if you agree.
Into the ether is a figurative expression that refers to something disappearing or dissipating into the unknown or non-existent. That wouldn't make any sense. I put it out there because it is existing.
I think it made any sense. I think you were wrong. I think you tried something and you were okay. Anyway, Delaware minus 2.5 in the first half is Mark Zinno. I will take you to the Missouri Valley, little Arch Madness, 3:30 Eastern in St. Louis is the 4-5 matchup in the quarterfinals. I'm talking Illinois State and Belmont. Pretty telling, Mark. The team who played yesterday, Illinois State, opens as a slight favorite here. We have seen some slight movement towards Belmont in the market, but I'm going to put my money behind an Illinois State offense that is number 2 in the conference behind only Drake. Not like the Redbirds were pushed hard yesterday either. I think that's always important. These teams who have played consecutive days against an opponent who was off the previous day, was the unrested team pushed? Well, in the case of Illinois State, no, they were not. They beat Missouri State 70-54 yesterday, up 15 at half, led by as many as 21 in the second half. Team did shoot well overall, but leading scorer Chase Walker, he only had 11 points on 4 of 10 shooting. So I would expect a bigger game from him against a Belmont team that Illinois State matches up pretty well against. I know this Illinois State defense, not very good, okay? And Belmont leads the Valley in 3-point percentage. However, Illinois State can defend in transition, so they should limit Belmont's opportunities there. Conversely, Illinois State should be able to get up a lot of three-point attempts against this Belmont defense. Belmont, that's been a problem for them. Opponents do get off a lot of attempts from behind the arc. These teams did split the two regular season meetings, but Belmont's win was in overtime, and Illinois State's win came in a game where Belmont actually shot 12 of 27 from three. I don't think Belmont's gone 12 of 27 from three in this game. Illinois State's the better team. They move on here. The Redbirds spread their wings, Mark Zinno.
You did it again, didn't you? You did it again. You had to. You couldn't help yourself with your corny ass dad sayings, dad joke kind of sayings.
I'm happy with that. Redbirds. It's a bird. They fly.
I understand that. It's as corny as, I don't know if you've seen this story, the Olympic snowboarder who apparently was running a drug trafficking ring between the United States and Canada, and is, had been organizing hits. The Los Angeles FBI field office director said, quote, "He went from shredding powder on the slopes of the Olympics to distributing powder cocaine on the streets of the U.S. and his native Canada. You are not allowed to be that douchey when you are a federal official."
Tariffs on that particular product, or is that exempt? Is that's sort of in the black market, right?
I
wouldn't know anything
you
about
avoid
that.
all tariffs when you're doing things that are not legal. You know what else? By the way, hey, I got something for you. You know what else isn't recession proof along with sports betting? Drugs aren't recession proof. Why do we get into drugs? Because they're not recession proof.
Okay. I'm down if you are. All right. Anyway, that is our daily. We always like to be very worldly.
To entice somebody to sports bet. It's an awful way to entice somebody to sports bet.
Okay. Now you're getting out of line. Okay, people enjoyed some of you.
I've never been in line.
People. Okay, let's all get. Can't we all just get along? All right. We've got a double play. Okay. I don't even know what to say about that right now. We've gotten our double play in.
Much easier to appease with money.
It's very hard for me to get in a word edgewise on this show. You wonder why sometimes I say things like P and V, because I figured, you know why I said P and V? I didn't think you'd have let me be able to say piss and vinegar. Yeah. It's hard enough to get 3 letters in on this show with you.
Amazing people still watch the show. That's the funny part.
We thank them for their support. Please smash that like button if you have not already done so. Comment down below with your favorite bets on Friday. Should we reiterate the special offer before we get to the best bet in the NBA?
Please do.
Have we tooted our horns enough? All right. Special offer one more time. $198 gets you every college basketball play for the rest of the season from Mark Zinno and myself. Number 1 and number 2, respectively, the last 30 days overall. And yes, I was number 1 last 30 days going into yesterday. Mark, with his 3-0 day yesterday, has reclaimed that crown and dropping me to number 2.
I'm number 1.
I'm number 1 the last 7 days. And you're number 1 the last 3 days. If you go to the leaderboard right now at WagerTalk.com, the names Mark Zinno and Bryan Power are featured quite prominently on that particular part of the webpage.
Yeah. It's a good place for them to be. Listen, at this point in time, can I just be arrogant for a minute? If I had to explain to you guys again why this is the best show on this network, okay, I can't help you. There's a leaderboard, there's entertainment, there's good picks, there's free picks. Just tune everything else out and stay here every day.
The ethos, the ether, the powder.
Ether is the stuff they put on people's mouths to pass out.
It is. That is. It's. I'll tell you what. That's it.
For me.
You ever seen Fear? You ever seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, man? They have some fun time with ether in that.
I saw Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Remember when he was running with the thing and he jumped on the football? And see if he had the ring.
Oh boy, my door's open.
What is he crying about it? Saddlebags.
All right, we're going to get to our best bet because my dog is barking downstairs. I need to close the door. So, Oklahoma City and Portland, Mark Zinno. Yes, we know SGA is not playing. You can do the voice making fun of people for accusing us of knowing that.
Tell a player who's playing and who's not playing before you make the bet.
Okay. But we don't care. As long as Oklahoma City is able to put a starting 5 on the floor, we like them laying a short number against Portland.
Yeah. Because the Thunder have played 3 meetings with the Trailblazers this year. They've won all of them by at least 10 points. And the Trailblazers are on the 6th game of a 6-game road trip. where the teams that they beat were Washington, bad. Brooklyn, bad. Sixers, bad. The teams they lost to, Cleveland, good. Boston, good. And let me see, which category does Oklahoma City fall into? The good one or the bad one? Well, let's go with good. I don't care that SGA is out. I don't care that Isaiah Hartenstein is out. Okay?
Maybe you see if anybody else is out before you make the bet.
But I don't care. This is a short enough number here. I think it's an overreaction line. This is a short enough number here that OKC at home is going to win this game and cover it by possession. Portland's 12-21 straight up on the road. I don't think they win this game. This is way too short of a number, so we'll back the Thunder here at home in the NBA tonight.
Despite the fact that people are not playing.
A request yesterday via DM that we start showing the Simpsons guy who clearly I don't know if you intentionally base your nerdy voice on the Simpsons character, but once you realize it sounds just like it is impossible not to hear that. So we may have.
I'm trying to pitch the face of the guy who it is.
Well, we'll see. It's the scientist helper guy or whatever. He always is like carrying around some fake potion or something like that. Anyway, perhaps that'll be added to the graphic repertoire next week when we convene again on Monday.
An
eggplant. Well, better than poo, at least. I'll tell you what, there aren't many things better than eggplant. Anyway, that's going to do it for the show. Okay, that was unnecessary.
No, I mean like when I make it.
Oh, I apologize.
Slice it up nice and thin, okay? Right? A little bit of olive oil, drizzle, salt, pepper, garlic. Not that. Salt, pepper, garlic, okay? Very simple. On the grill, roast it. When it starts to char a little bit, grab it off, spread some Parmigiano Reggiano right on top of it. Parmigiano Reggiano right on top of it. Chef's kiss, baby. Very simple.
When we have a party, you know what I'm known for doing? We'll have burgers on the grill. We're making food for people. Well, okay, besides that. Anyway, actually, usually we've got the hard stuff. It's my house, so I usually just break out the hard stuff. Anyway, I'll be standing by the grill. We're making some burgers. I am well known for saying, "Hey, can you hand the spatula? Can you watch this for a second?" And just walking off and never coming back.
And never coming back.
Move. It's right out of my play.
That is a classic Bryan power move.
Yes, just I got caught in. People were talking to me inside. I never made it back. Thanks for handling the burgers, pal.
And the a-hole sitting there with the spatula can't help but stand there until he has to give it to somebody else, right? Because once I realized you weren't coming back, I do that to somebody else. Do me a favor. Can you just watch this for a minute? Okay, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah, it's just another pro tip from yours truly here. We got you on the betting board and in the game of life. Yes. All right. That is going to do it for the show.
Entendre. Ways to be a terrible host at home and on this show.
I'm very upset right now at that comment. I'm a good host. Both
just
on and off
pass the spatula to me, and I'll take care of all the heavy lifting. Don't worry about it.
Would you like to Would you like to take us home?
We have a package. Don't forget the package. It's a good package.
Anything else? Anything else?
No, that's it. Let's get out of here. It's Friday. Enjoy the Saturday. Big college card. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Like, comment, subscribe.
That too. Hit the music. There we go.
Love us not be
You're so close when I thought you were gone.